iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.
It's called a musical fable. I would call it an American fable. It's about people existing in defiance of limitations. This is a woman who, it was originally done in 1959, and this woman is breaking rules and decided that those structures that are put in place for what she should be are not interesting to her. She wants more, and she wants her daughters to understand that there's more. Sometimes it's questionable as to her decisions, but she's looking to break free of other people's limited definition of who she is. And that, I think, is very exhilarating and fun to watch and powerful to watch and amazing to watch.
Obviously, it was a huge honor, and I don't want to say it was a dream come true because it was a role that I didn't know that I wanted to do. It's a role that I absolutely admired and, a show that I loved and had been in when I was a kid. But to get confirmation that not only was it going to happen, but Stephen Sondheim had signed off on me doing it years ago. It was just overwhelming, and it still doesn't even feel real, except for the fact that I'm tired because we're in rehearsals.
Well, the truth is I've been asked to do several other shows after my 19th Broadway show, which was a year and a half ago, play with Nathan Lane and Zoe Wanamaker called Pictures from Home. And I was just waiting for the right show to come along. And then when I heard Gypsy was going to be happening with my dear friend Audra, I crossed my fingers and hoped, but I didn't hear anything. So I was, sad that it probably wouldn't happen. And then about a month before the first rehearsal, I got a call from my agent saying that George C. Wolfe wanted to have lunch together. And so we had lunch, and it was sublime. We had a great time. And then the next morning at 9 a.m., I got the offer. So that's how it all worked out. Yeah. And I was absolutely thrilled. I couldn't have asked for a better production, a better show, a better cast. And it's truly one of the greatest shows ever written. Stephen Sondheim told me it doesn't get much better than Gypsy. We've got George C. Wolfe and Camille A. Brown leading us, and they're brilliant artists at the top of their game. And then Audra McDonald. What can you say? She's brilliant.
Because it was something that I never thought about, you learn about this story in school and growing up, and, it never included me. So the fact that I'm able to play this after for so long and it not included, people of color, it feels right. It feels like, okay, if this is mine, then that means it's mine for a reason, and we're going to find everything and learn everything that we can from it, about it, through it, with the people that I'm with. It's the best group. I'm pinching myself every day.
Oh my gosh. I am just honored. I'm looking around this room, and so many of my theater heroes are here, so that's pretty phenomenal. But getting to play June is also just the gift of this moment for me. She's someone who knows herself, who trusts her voice, and I want to be part of pieces like that, and to get to embody that, because then I get to take a little of that bravery for myself too.
I'm playing Mazeppa, Revolution in Dance. She is a burlesque stripper in the second act, and she is just a dream for me because she is sitting in her femininity in a really powerful and strong way. And I think that the three strippers who sing You Gotta Get a Gimmick are very eye-opening to Louise in terms of seeing women in a way that she hasn't seen them before. And so just to be able to play that kind of powerful influence right now especially has been such a privilege.
This is my first time with Gypsy in any capacity, and it's a thrill. Many people consider it the greatest musical of all time, And I have come to agree with that assessment.
Since I was 9 years old, no joke, I played Baby Louise when I was 9, and I remember looking at those women because they're sparkly and gorge, and I remember going, oh my God, I have to be one of the strippers. And the second that this was announced, I remember calling my manager going, Tessitura, Tessitura, Tessitura. I've wanted to play Tessie for so long, and because so many women that I have looked up to my entire life have played this role, and I knew it was something that I wanted to kind of put my own stamp on. And so, yeah, it's definitely been, I live in LA, and so I was like, for me to come back and do a Broadway show, it's got to be something special. And then Audra decides to go and do Gypsy, and I was like, so I wish it was that easy. But after all the hoops, I'm really excited, yeah.
What I'm discovering more and more, especially because I'm looking at it through the lens of 2024, a woman in 2024, Audra, a woman in 2024, examining this role. Growing up, I thought of Rose as a monster, just the world's worst parent, and these horrible things that she inflicts upon her children. And now that I'm in the role and learning the role and inhabiting the role, I'm understanding that this was, she was a complicated woman, but I don't think she was a monster anymore. I've like to say I've moved from the prosecutor's table to the defense's table. This is a woman, a single mother of 2 children with passion and ambition at a time when women weren't really supposed to have either of those things. She Rose invades. She's not playing by the rules that society has set out for her. She's reaching for more and wanting more for her children. And I think that's the discovery so far that I've made. And it's allowing me to, be comfortable with the choices that Rose is making. Yeah.
It's been really fun. I think I think this is the first time that I'm doing a show with someone that I have known already. So feeling comfortable and them getting to be your sister, and just feeling like I know you, I know how you work, and we're able to play in that way. It's really nice. I'm looking forward to more of it.
Embarrassingly, yes. Not too many dream of being a stripper when they're 6 years old. I didn't really know what it was. All I knew was there was this really powerful, strong woman. And I remember seeing the number for the first time, the movie, with Rosalind Russell and Natalie Wood, and getting to the number of you got to get a gimmick, and just sort of being like, wait, what's this? And just pressing rewind and going back and watching this number over and over again. And none of the inappropriateness of it even fazed me, but I was just so blown away, I think, by the strength of these women and their unapologetic way of owning their unique qualities, So, yeah.
I didn't grow up with this musical. I've known some of the music over the years because of its history, and standards are in this show that people have grown up with, but it was not on my radar. And I think a part of that is also to do with the fact that, why would I have ever seen myself in this piece? It's never been done with someone who looks like me or a cast of this, diversity before. So I'm finding my way in, actually, through my own music and culture, and trying to infuse that here. It's exciting to have, a dark-skinned Black mother with 2 daughters of 2 different complexions is already in itself a whole story. There's a story there of how they're both treated differently or the same. It's just, I think audiences will react to it in a way that's reflective of what our country is now and its history too.
Oh, it's a thrill. As soon as we met, Lily Thomas and Lizzie Margarita and myself, as soon as we met, it was instant. Everyone knows what they're doing. There's magic, there's a crackling energy, and there's a lot of joy. And Joy Woods, speaking of Joy Woods, who plays Louise, who is the object of our conversation that is entitled, You Gotta Get a Gimmick, There's a lot of joy in what we're passing on to her. Gypsy actually has a lot of strong female roles and a real community of women who actually are taking care of each other. From the outside, it's sort of a story about a mother-daughter and maybe some monstrous behavior, but when you really kind of pop the hood and you look at Gypsy, it's really about the resilience of women in unusual circumstances, just thriving and finding their way.
To be in this space, we have titans of the Broadway community in this space and the film community, and it's been incredible. I think every day I come to work, and some days you come to work and you're tired or you're sore, but looking left and like seeing George C. Wolfe and looking right, seeing Camille Brown, and then like seeing Audra McDonald and Danny Bernstein, like the list goes on and on and on. It just like it wakes you up and it gets you like it gets that inner like Broadway child in you, just so excited to just jump into the deep end of the material and just kind of see what happens. But the trust, the safety, the freedom in the room is unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Yeah, I mean, it's been like a long time since Danny and I have shared a stage. We did a workshop together a million years ago with all these iconic people, Chita Rivera, Madeline Kahn, Deborah Monk, Fred Molina, all these amazing people were in it. But getting the opportunity to work with him right now, it just feels so safe and easy, and which is what you want to have, that easy, safe relationship with your coworkers, so that you can then just dive in and go to all the dark places that the characters have to go, and the happy places, and know that you're going to have a partner who's going to be there for you and you can be there for them. So it's a dream come true. When I found out that he had gotten the offer, I was just thrilled.
A little scary at times, but I'm learning so much. And she's just a lovely, wonderful person and a mom. So there's a warmth that comes from her, and you can't help but feel calm around her, except when she's yelling at you on stage. But that's what it's for, so it's fine.
You're lumped together, and you just hope that you get cool people, and they're incredible. And it is about being different, our different talents and strengths. And I just love that I've got two people to hold on to go through everything with. It's really cool. It's like you gain two extra sisters. And I got lucky. I hit the lotto with these two. They're incredible. They're funny. They're nice. They're great people off stage, which to me is more important. And I'm really excited because all three of us are bringing something completely different to the characters, which George wants and we wanted as well. And especially like people, would message me and be like, "Oh my God, you're gonna love Lily. You're gonna love Melinda," and it's true. Like it's odd that we had never met before.
Well, it's right now it's fun. It's fun because we're working and discovering, and I must pat myself on the back by saying I pulled together an astonishing cast of people who are not just talented artists, but they're incredibly smart, fun human beings. And so it's fun to play, and it's fun to discover with them, and it's fun to do the hard work, and it's fun to sweat. And I'm in awe of how supportive they are of each other. So thus far, it's been a really, really joyful experience.
Well, Audra's one of my favorite people in the world. She has been. We worked together probably 25 years ago on a workshop with Jerry Herman, of all people, and that was sublime. And then we worked together a few years ago on her show, her TV show, The Good Fight. And then about 2 years ago, we did another episode, and while we were in between takes, she said, there's a project I'm working on that's coming up that you would be perfect for. She said, let's talk after the next break. And we never did. And then when I got the offer, she texted me and she said, remember when I told you that? This was it. So I really have her to thank for this role and this job and this experience.
It's people say don't meet your heroes, but she is, she's everything that I hoped she would be, I guess. Humble and just there to tell the best story she can, and kind. So it's inspiring me in a new way, because I was already inspired by her. But it's helping me and to just show up and do the work.
There aren't so many ways to say something that is just so unbelievable, which is that it's obviously a masterclass every moment watching her work, but as a mother looking at this material and watching Audra feel her way through this book, it's been so inspiring and so moving, and there's just so much heart in her Mama Rose. So I'm just so excited every day to come in and see something new that moves me to tears every day.
To see Audra, it's like the music was written for her, and to see what she is doing, and Danny Burstein as well. I'm just excited for them to see a completely different Gypsy. And that's not to say the other ones weren't great. They were all incredible. It's one of my favorite shows. But to see a brand new take on it, and while still keeping the original text and orchestration, we're bringing more orchestrations, but just to see that is really incredible. And I can't wait till everyone hears the first Sing Out Louise, because it's going to be one of those iconic moments. Yeah, it's exciting.
Well, I hope they can find themselves inside. That's all you ever want, is to find themselves inside of the material, to find themselves inside of the story of a human being who said, no, I will not exist inside of those restrictions, and going against them and figuring out who she was and messing up, but at the same time confronting who she is along the way, and growing and confronting her ambition and confronting her limitations. And that's exhilarating to see that in a musical. And Rose's turn builds to this woman standing center stage and saying, someone tell me, when is it my turn? That's the question. When do I get a chance for myself? That's what the show is about. A woman who is determined to get a chance for herself.
Honestly, I'm excited for them to see the Farm Boys. You guys, I've been giggling all freaking month looking at these boys dance. It's so funny. But there's such a depth to the show, too. I think that part is needed because you go on a long journey.
I am so excited for audiences. I keep picturing this moment when they sit down and the lights go down and the first notes of that overture begin in the beautiful, majestic theater that hasn't had a new show in it in over 30 years since Phantom moved out. It's completely renovated. It's stunning, and it gives me goosebumps when people are going to sit down in those beautiful seats. The lights are going to go down. That overture is going to start, and it's a thrill. It's going to be a thrill ride. I know. It doesn't matter if you've seen Gypsy or you've never seen Gypsy. You are going to be on the edge of your seat wondering what is going to happen next. It's the thrill.
Just, for new generations who haven't perhaps seen the show before, to experience this iconic show, this iconic story, to perhaps, be able to hear it with a different resonance coming from, a black woman taking this journey. But more than that, just to experience the joy that is this perfect show that we know as Gypsy.
I want them to see this new, fresh take on Gypsy. I want them to see Audra's performance. I want them to see Camille's incredible choreography. I want them to see the insight that a director like George C. Wolfe brings to an American classic. And I want them to have the best time they've ever had in the theater.